Potter Digital Ambassadors Program pairs MU journalism students with community newspapers in Missouri to upgrade the tools and strategies needed to maximize their multimedia and social media presence. Newspapers are selected through an application process that focuses on their digital needs, their willingness to welcome the students, and their ability to follow through on the week's objectives. Students are selected according to how well their skill sets match the newspaper's needs and how closely their backgrounds coincide with the size and nature of the community where they will be. Each student has completed most of the courses in their journalism specialty and are proficient in a range of media. The students spend up to a month just preparing for the business. They consult with the editors or publishers about the goals of the program, and they prepare a thorough community audit that covers demographics such as competition, economic outlook, government, and other factors that play in the news coverage. All the students live in the communities that for the week in January in which they're administering this program. They spend a full 5 days in the newsroom gathering information, training staff in digital tools and practices, and leaving behind written routines that will hopefully sustain the initiatives they bring to the news organization. This year, the Potter Digital Ambassador Program will take place from January 13th to the 17th. There is no cost to the newspapers for hosting the student and allowing them to upgrade the newspaper's digital skills. Yes, you heard right, there is no cost to the newspapers for hosting these students. The students do receive a stipend for the work, which includes lodging and meal expenses. The program's now in its third year. The first year, 5 newspapers took part. Last January, there were 7 of us. The News Tribune in Jefferson City was one, Call Newspapers in St. Louis, Warrensburg Daily Star Journal, the Lamar Democrat, the Platte County Citizen, Ozark County Times, and the West Plains Daily Quill. They're looking for 5 to 10 student newspaper matches per year. I will share some of my experiences there. We had a student named Kyle who came in, and he did a wonderful job. What I appreciated was his willingness to, I had a staff of variety of mix of ages from very young to senior, and the skill set was just as wide. He did a great job of first just globally meeting with everyone, demystifying some of the tools. We focused a lot on video and video editing, and then he took an incredible amount of time individually with each journalist to get them to a higher comfort level. So it was a great experience for us, and I would encourage you certainly to consider that. I'd like for Cody and Allison to be able to share some of their experiences as well. So again, as an MPA member, your newspaper is definitely eligible for this program. On your table, there are applications that you can give to Ruby Bailey or folks at MPA or myself, and we'll be happy to get them to Gene Abbott, who oversees the program. The application deadline is November 1st.
Well, we had a girl named Tess in Missouri come work with us. She was really impressive. She obviously did a lot of research before she came here. She knew about our paper, she knew about our competitor's paper. It kind of differs between how we both did stuff social media wise. She was really strong on social media as far as Twitter, Facebook. She even made me get an Instagram account, which I don't know if I've never had it. But we have one now in the newspaper. We tie it to Facebook and whatever posts on Instagram, but it's right on Facebook too, so it kind of helps out. The thing I was probably most impressed with Tess was the fact that she kind of made my life a little bit easier because of an app she knew called Hootsuite, which I had never heard of that. I'd like to think I was kind of in tune with all the happenings in technology, but I was not on that one. But when she got us an app, we can post Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter all at the same time. And saving a lot of time because usually after we post the paper, we upload stuff on the website and then push that on social media. But then I was kind of doing twice the work basically before. I was doing Facebook, uploading everything on Facebook, and then I was uploading everything on Twitter. So to have one platform get it done, that was immensely
had a young lady named, her name is Aviva, and some of the things that I talked to her about prior to her visit, because she called me several times, she emailed several times, really wanted to know about our day-to-day, you know, what our norm is, what our social media activity is. But she had done a lot of background research, really had done her homework, and was very, very professional. When I first heard about the program and that we were going to have someone, I sort of had this idea in my mind that we're going to have a job shadow here for a week. You know, so at the same time, you get a student in and they're not really doing a whole lot, just kind of seeing the ins and outs of what a newsroom is. That wasn't the case at all. It was something that she came in and taught us something. And by the end of the week, because we put her right in the middle of the newsroom, she was putting together PowerPoint presentations for us to help us learn where our social media impact could improve. She did a lot of research beforehand so that when she got there, she only had 5 days. So she really put that 5 days to good use, and we all learned a lot. Some of my team, before she came, I said, hey, we're going to be learning more about Instagram, and we were already pretty saturated in Facebook and Twitter and had, you know, a good presence there. She set up an Instagram account within a couple of days. We had 50, 100. It just kept going up and up and up. I think we're almost to 1,000 now. And it just keeps growing. People love to see that activity and that instant gratification of the activity, which we were not tapping into. We had a Twitter feed that was just kind of going off of our Facebook, but my reporters were really like, oh, one more thing that I have to do while I'm out, I don't want to do this. But after Aviva kind of talked to them and said, hey, you're already at this event, just like we're here, snap a picture, put it on Instagram, talk a little bit about what you're doing, and people really get excited about it. They feel like they're there. They feel like they're connected to that reporter. So it actually ended up being something really fun for them, and my sports editor, who did not want to participate at all, was the one that puts the most on. So I highly recommend this. Like I said, Aviva's last day, we were all so sad to see her go because she almost become a part of our newsroom in a week. So I highly recommend this program. They're very, very knowledgeable, and she was ready to get down to work and help us out. And such a good idea. So thank you.
So I just want to emphasize a couple of things. One, they came in and they were skilled and ready to go. They were leading the charge. Allison's right, this was not a job shadow. They came in prepared and they worked their butts off. And secondly, there was no charge to the newspaper. The deadline is November 1st. Please apply. It's a great program.
Now we're going to hear from one of our major sponsors, the Missouri Bar. Tom Bender, an attorney with Horn, Allward, and Bandy, LLC in Kansas City, is the 2019-2020 president of the Missouri Bar. During his term, Tom has focused on highlighting the good work of lawyers to improve the profession, the law, and administration of the justice on behalf of all Missourians. Tom graduated from the University of Missouri School of Law and has been elected to serve as a member of the Missouri Bar's Board of Governors since 2011. He is a past president of the Kansas City Metropolitan Bar Association and Kansas City Metropolitan Bar Foundation. His practice focuses on civil litigation and alternative dispute resolution. Please join me in welcoming Tom Bender.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here. I grew up in El Rey Springs, Missouri. We had the weekly paper, the El Rey Star at that time, and then we also had delivered to us the Springfield paper and Kansas City paper every day for the dailies. Our family used to sit around and actually read the paper at that point in time. We developed a love for journalism, respected journalists. I still do respect journalists. And being around in various capacities in boardrooms and in different meetings, there's nothing that brings people, enlightens people, and brings bad practices to light than the word, there's a reporter outside. It is, I've seen the power of truth over lies and misinformation. I've seen the power of simple words to move public opinion. I applaud you for all that you do. I'm very honored, therefore, to be here today just to share a little bit about what we do and why lawyers and women and men of the press have so much in common. I also like to thank James White and Mark Masson for the opportunity to allow us to take part in this luncheon. Let me give you a quick reminder of who we are. The Missouri Bar is what we call a unified bar, which means that as soon as you're admitted to the bar, you're a member of the Missouri Bar in the state of Missouri. We have 30,000 members. Our Board of Governors are actually spread out over all parts of the state. So when you're looking for sources of information, there are 45 governors that are spread out from each of the districts. So anytime you need some information, you can contact your local, our Board of Governors or our Board of Directors, and you can call them and ask them for information. We go about doing our work in really three ways. One, we try to make our lawyers better, by making them better in the way that they serve the community. The second thing we do, which might be of eventual interest or use to you, is we look at all the legislation which is brought forth. And we try to either promote legislation that improves the quality of legal services in the state, or we review legislation and we provide comments. And all that work is, there's no cost to the paper, as we just heard, there's no cost to you. If you call our offices and say we'd like to have a comment on this, then what happens is our media director goes to each of those people with experience, and you get some of the best lawyers in the state that will provide you comments for free. So it's, we do that for the legislature to try to help make sure that as they work through and try to address an issue that they think is important to them, we try to look at it and say, what are the unexpected ramifications if we do this? What's going to happen if it's not worded properly? We don't want to have a lot of appeals, a lot of processes. Can we help you with your, to try to accomplish what you want to do? We don't draft legislation, we just try to help them with the wording. And the other thing we do is we try to make, we have a lot of access to civic education, to the press associations, newspapers, and education. So we work on that issue to try to help also. We understand that you do more with increasingly less in your newsrooms. I thank you for the reporting that you do and the hard work that you do to make the public better understand our laws and legal services. I believe the role of the press is incredibly important to our democracy, to the rule of law, and it's especially meaningful in these times. So if we share a lot in common. We go about it in different ways, but the women and men of the press, as well as those in the bar, both seek to bring forward the truth, to educate the public, and to try to make sure decisions are based upon facts versus fear or ignorance. In the over 40 years that I've been practicing law, I started out in a small town, I've been in Kansas City, and I've been in the state and federal courts around here. I've seen our lawyers have also forced changes in bad practices, shoddy operations, and harmful products. We've forced changes in discriminatory practices and conduct, and we've hauled into the people's courts those who have preyed upon our citizens. So in many ways, we are aligned in our efforts. We both try to educate the public, and we both try to make sure that things are brought to light. That's why we're here today as a sponsor. That's why we'll be here next year, and that's why we'll always be available to you to try to help you. So here's what we do now that we hope is of some help. The Missouri Bar provides staff report for the Missouri Press Bar Commission, which Mark, I think, and two other Press Association members serve on. The commission worked to propose recent changes to the Missouri's camera and the court rule, which you, I believe, addressed yesterday. It also produces a news reporter's handbook on covering the courts and law, a legal glossary, and videos on how the revised cameras and courts work. So I say we will be happy to continue to promote and connect you with our legal sources, our legal experts that cover the types of cases that you may have. Farrah Fight is our media contact at the Missouri Bar. She was a reporter, and she's very interested in making sure that you get access to whatever resources we have. Our Citizen Education Director, Tony Simons, provides information on the Constitution of Courts for the newspapers and education program. I don't know if anybody knows Tony. don't even talk like this. And he comes in the room, he is so enthusiastic, and he's great. He goes out to the schools, teachers love him. The third thing we do is because all of our judges are accountable to the voters. Every year, we partner with newspapers across the state to publicize how citizens can find the judicial performance reviews for the nonpartisan court plan. No doubt there are other ways we can help you. If you have any other ideas how Missouri's lawyers or our organized bar can help you inform Missouri citizens when it comes to our legal system, I hope you'll let us know. Give us a call at any time, because working together, we can better educate the public about what it means to be an engaged citizen. I'm proud to have the opportunity to be here with you. I look forward to the visibility and continued success of your vital work to help the citizens of Missouri. And congratulations to all today's outstanding award recipients. Thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you to the Missouri Bar. A few years ago, Ed Steele, retired advertising director at Missouri Press, donated $50,000 to the Missouri Press Foundation to establish the Edward L. Steele Community Newspaper Scholarship at his alma mater, the University of Missouri School of Journalism. Today, we'd like to present a $2,500 scholarship to Marcel Peters of Kennesaw, Georgia. Marcel, will you join me on the stage? The Edward L. Steele Scholarship is awarded to one student every other year. It is a one-time award of $2,500. Journalism students at the University of Missouri School of Journalism are eligible to apply. Candidates are enrolled in courses directed towards a career in journalism, such as newsroom management, reporting, editing, circulation, or advertising. Selection of the scholarship recipients by the foundation is based on need, academic achievement, and commitment to a career working for a newspaper. Marcel, the daughter of Lauren and Sylvia Peters, is a J School student majoring in news reporting. Ruby L. Bailey, executive editor at the Columbia Missourian and community newspaper management chair at the University of Missouri School of Journalism, had this to say: Marcel has a tenacious and talented reporter at Columbia Missourian and a strong newsroom leader as an assistant city editor. She exemplifies the best of what we do every day. Marcel, Ed Steele would be thrilled that you're selected as this year's recipient. Congratulations from Ed Steele and the Missouri Press Foundation. And now it's time to announce the Better Newspaper Contest winners. And here to do the honors is Ted Lawrence, advertising manager with Missouri Press.
Thank you, Trevor. It is time for the 2019 Better Newspaper Contest Awards. When your newspaper name is called, please proceed to the stage to receive your awards. We will be reading the individual awards for all those present. We start things off with the Douglas County Herald. Honorable mention, Best Columnist Serious, Sue Curry Jones. The Marys County Advocate. Best Sports Photograph, Jacob Warden. Best Photo Package, Dave Marner. Best Breaking News Story, Roxy Murphy. Best Page Design. Best Featured Photograph, Jacob Warden. Best Coverage of Government, Laura Schiermeyer. Second place, Best Overall Design. Best Sports Photograph, Neil Johnson. Best Military Story, Roxy Murphy. Best News Photograph, Dave Marner. Best Story About Education, Laura Schiermeyer. Best photo package, Jacob Warden. Best story about the outdoors, Laura Schiermeyer. Best sports feature photograph, Jacob Warden. Best news or feature series, Roxy Murphy and Dave Marner. Best health story, Laura Schiermeyer. Best news story, Roxy Murphy. Best page design, best front page. Best photo package, Jacob Warden. Best sports news story or package, Will Johnson and Jacob Warden. Best news story, Laura Schiermeyer. Best coverage of government, Roxy Murphy. And honorable mention, best news photograph, Jacob Warden. Best photo package, Jacob Warden. Best news or feature series, Roxy Murphy. Best business story, best news or feature special section. The Oliver Herald Free Press. First place, best story about religion, Jill Way. Best story about history, Jill Way. Best news or feature series, Jill Way and Jessica Franklin Mall. Second place, best investigative reporting, Jill Way. Best online newspaper or website. Third place, general excellence. Best news or feature special section. Best health story, Jessica Franklin Mall. And honorable mention, best military story, best news story, best news or feature series. Louisville Daily News. Second place, best coverage of rural life or agriculture, Claire Colby. Best story about rural life or agriculture, Claire Colby. Best feature story, Claire Colby. Bowling Green Times. Branson Tri-Lakes News. First place, best breaking news story, Sarah Carnes. Best news or feature series, Sarah Carnes, John Robinson, Emily Cole, and Cliff Sane. Second place, best military story, John Robinson. Third place, best news or feature obituary, Joshua Clark. Best news story, Sarah Carnes. Honorable mention, best story about education, Sarah Carnes and Cliff Sane. Best military story, John Robinson. California Democrat. Honorable mention, best feature photograph, Michelle Brooks. Lake Sun Leader. Press News Journal. Lake Sun Leader. Third place, best feature photograph, Mitch Prentice. Best sports feature photograph, Michael Loesch. Best news photograph, Mitch Prentice. Best sports feature story, Michael Loesch. Honorable mention, best sports feature photograph and best sports feature story, Michael Loesch. Press News Journal. Southeast Northeast Missouri. Cassville Democrat. First place, Best Overall Design. Best Feature Story, Kyle Troutman. Best Investigative Reporting, Kyle Troutman. Best Military Story, Melanie Roberts. Best Photo Illustration, Kyle Troutman. Best Coverage of Rural Life or Agriculture. First place, but wait, there's more. First place, Best Story About the Outdoors, Kyle Troutman. Best Headline Writing, Multimedia Reporting, Kyle Troutman and Jared Langford. Best News or Feature Special Section, Community Service. Best Video, Kyle Troutman. Second place, General Excellence. Best Front Page. Best Story About History, Jordan Privet. Best Online Newspaper or Website. Best Breaking News Story, Kyle Troutman and Murray Bischoff. Best Sports News Story or Package, Kyle Troutman. Best News or Feature Special Section, Magazine Alternative Publication. And third place, Best Sports Photograph, Kyle Troutman. Best Story About Rural Life or Agriculture, Jordan Privet. Best Military Story, Jordan Privet. Best Sports Pages. Best Story About the Outdoors, Kyle Troutman. Best Breaking News Story, Kyle Troutman. Best Health Story, Jordan Privet. Best Page Design, Kyle Troutman. And honorable mention, Best Health Story, Jordan Privet. Columbia Daily Tribune. First place, Best Photo Illustration, Jacob Lickman and Don Shrubshell. Best Coverage of Government, Rudy Keller. Best Sports Feature Story, Daniel Jones. Best Sports Feature Photograph, Hunter Dyke. Second place, General Excellence. Best Online Newspaper or Website. Best Photo Illustration, Don Shrubshell and Jacob Lickman. Second place, Best Sports Photograph, Hunter Dyke. Best Investigative Reporting, Lexi Churchill and Waverly Colville. Best Story About History, Roger McKinney. Best Business Story, Anna Coles. Third place, Best Sports Feature Story, Cameron T. Robinson. Best Story About Education, Lexi Churchill and Waverly Colville. Best Business Story, Michael Maresh. Honorable mention, Best Front Page. Best Sports Columnist, Garrick Hodge. Best Editorial Pages, Multimedia Reporting, Cameron Robinson and Hunter Dyke. Best News or Feature Special Section, Best Story About Education, Rudy Keller. Best Story About Rural Life or Agriculture, Rudy Keller. And that is the Columbia Daily Tribune. The Columbia Missouri. First place, Multimedia Reporting, Jennifer Mossbrucker and Titus Wu. Best Online Newspaper or Website. Best Information Graphic, Matthew Hall. Best Editorial Cartoon, John Darkow. Best Coverage of Rural Life or Agriculture. Best Headline Writing. Best Photo Illustration, Julia Hansen. Best Story About Education, Nancy Coleman. Best Local Business Coverage. First place, Best Health Story, Alexis Allison. Best News or Feature Obituary, Alexis Allison. Best News or Feature Series, Alexis Allison, Dylan Sherman, Noah Higgins Dunn, Sten Spinella, Kristen Blake, Annabelle Ames. Best Video, Cameron LaFontaine and Joey Schneider. Best Story About Rural Life or Agriculture, Titus Wu. Best Feature Story, Ann Marion. Best News Story, Sam A. Manus. Best Sports News Story or Package, Ryan Herrera, Matt Anthony, Jake Sutherland, Langston Newsom. Best Page Design, Second place, General Excellence. Best Overall Design. Best Information Graphic, Tynan Stewart. Best Front Page. Best Feature Photograph, Jesse Dodge. Best Photo Illustration, N. Andrew Dent III. Best Story About Education. There he is, Kyle Hookett. Best News of Feature Obituary, Annalise Acuff. Best News or Feature Series, Catherine Hardison. Lydia Nussbaum, Dylan Jackson. Micah Spellner, Trevor Hook, Annika Merlees. Second place, Best Video, Raina Sims. Best Story About Rural Life or Agriculture, Catherine Hardison. Best News or Feature Special Section, Best Sports Feature Story, DJ McGuire. Best Story About History, Alexander Ransom. Best Story About the Outdoors, Jared Kaufman. Best Sports News Story or Package, Reed Catellis and David Sack. Best Page Design, Community Service. Third place, Best Information Graphic, Allison Vasilopoulos. Best Sports Feature Photograph, Antronik Tavishian. Best Health Story, Alexis Allison. Best News or Feature Obituary, Claire Mitzel. Best News or Feature Series, Catherine Hardison. Best Video, Chinwei Kong. Best Story About Rural Life or Agriculture, Anna Brett and Tessa Weinberg. Best Feature Story, Madison McVan. Best Story About Religion, Hannah Music and Antronik Tavishian. Third place, Best News or Feature Special Section, Best Sports Feature Story, Eli Letterman. Best News Photograph, Abigail Young. Best Story About the Outdoors, Noah Higgins Dunn, Alexis Allison, Carrie Littlejohn. Best Investigative Reporting, Anna Brett and Tessa Weinberg. Best News Story, Anna Brett. Best Photo Package, Liv Pagerino, Jacob Moskovich, Claire Roth, and Jenna Kaiser. Community Service, Nancy Coleman and Elena K. Cruz. Best Sports Pages. An honorable mention, Best Information Graphic, Alexis Allison. Best Coverage of Government, Best Military Story, MC Cross. Best News or Feature Series, Alexander Ransom, Jared Kaufman, Anne Marion, Sharon Mai, and Lauren Puckett. Best Feature Story, Margaret Austin. Best Story About Religion, Annalise Acuff and Catherine Hardison. Best Story About the Outdoors, Alexis Allison. Best Investigative Reporting, Titus Wu. Best Sports News Story or Package, Eli Letterman. That is the Columbia Missourian. The Aegina Sentinel. Second place, Best Investigative Reporting, Echo Mengis and Mike Scott. Multimedia Reporting, Echo Mengis and Mike Scott. Best Business Story, Echo Mengis. The Eldon Advertiser. Honorable mention, the Tillman Cloud Memorial Weekly's Editorial Award, Trevor Vernon. Shannon County Current Wave. Jefferson County Leader. First place, Best Health Story, Gordon Betts. Best Business Story, Steve Taylor. Best Newspapers and Education Project, Best Local Business Coverage, Best News or Feature Obituary, Lauren Marlowe. Best Investigative Reporting, Steve Taylor. Best Editorial Pages, Community Service. Best Columnist Serious, Peggy Bess. Best Military Story, Laura Marlowe. Second place, Best Feature Story, Laura Marlowe. Best Story About History, Gordon Bess. Best News or Feature Special Section, Best Headline Writing, Best Editorial Cartoon, Judy Dixon. Best Story about Rural Life or Agriculture, Mary McKinstry. Third place, Best Health Story, Peggy Bess. Best News Photographer, Ron Rigdon. Best Sports Photograph, Ted Howell. Third place, Best Breaking News Story, Peggy Bess and Kim Robertson. Best Story about Religion, Gordon Bess. The Tillman Cloud Memorial Weekly's Editorial Award, third place. An honorable mention, Best News or Feature Special Section, Best Front Page, Best Editorial Cartoon, Judy Dixon. Best Online Newspaper or Website. Best Story about the Outdoors, Gordon Bess. Best Columnist Serious, Pat Martin. Those are kind of times. Jackson County Advocate. First place, Best Story about History, Mary Wilson. Best Story about Religion, Mary Wilson. Second place, Best Story about Rural Life or Agriculture, and Best Coverage of Government, Mary Wilson. Third place, Best News or Feature Series, Best Business Story, both Mary Wilson. Best Sports Feature Story, Brett Calwine. An honorable mention, Best Sports News Story or Package, Brett Calwine. Best Sports Feature Story, Brett Calwine. And Best Coverage of Government, Mary Wilson. Greenfield Vedettes. Hannibal Courier Post. Southcast Tribune. First place, Best Columnist Serious, Dennis Minich. Best Sports Feature Story, Dennis Minich. Third place, Best Feature Story, and the Tillman Cloud Memorial Weekly's Editorial Award, Dennis Minich. Honorable mention, Best Story about History, Linda Thompson, and Best News Story, Dennis Minich. The Houston Herald. The Independence Examiner. Second place, Best Columnist, Humorist, Jeff Fox. Third place, General Excellence. Best Sports News Story or Package, Michael Smith. Honorable mention, Best Sports Columnist,